Hey all, this is episode 2 of season 2 of the Adventures of Ziggy Golddust and Ultraviolent 4. We're doing our second Zig right now. We're past the halfway point of this one. We finished Zig 16 of 27 floors. From memory there's nothing here. I just want to double check because I'm very paranoid about missing unrandots. It doesn't look like it. Okay, I'm going to get off the stairs though, it's freaking me out a bit. In the last episode, we found the staff of Wucad which I don't know that I've ever really used before. So I asked you guys, what's the deal with this? Is it any good? I had a lot of hype in the comment section about how good this thing is. So, turns out that this is a really funny item. Oh wow, it matches our cloak beautifully and our blue shield. We have to use it. Look at this, how matching that is. Okay, so how this item works. You can evoke it to get back magic points, much like a Staff of Energy, except with a couple of catches. The first is that on average it gives you a lot more magic points back than a Staff of Energy does. The second is that if you successfully get magic back, as in the opposite of the Crystal Ball of Energy, where you get bad things if you unsuccessfully evoke it. With this one, if you do manage to evoke it, you have a chance of getting what's called a Divinations miscast. So it turns out that there used to be a spell school called Divinations, that the spells are long gone, but the miscasts stick around. So if you do evoke, you have a 25% chance to get one of the following. Confusion. Won't affect us. We have clarity. Losing some magic points, which is, I guess, similar to Crystal Ball of Energy, except you don't lose all your magic points, you lose some. And then lastly, a chance that you can lose some of your intelligence. So I guess if you were really unlucky, you could keep rolling -int over and over again. So I had a lot of people say, basically, you should just ditch the Staff of Energy, use the Staff of Wucad now because it's superior in all situations. Not convinced yet that that's true, because I don't know, if you keep getting your int nailed over and over again and say there are mummy flaws and that sort of thing, I'm not sure that you'd want to use it and risk putting yourself at stat death, or even if you just really wanted your int to come back, using this could degrade it even further. Comparing this to the Crystal Ball of Energy, so at higher levels of evocation skill, on average the Crystal Ball of Energy will give you more magic points back. The main difference is that this Staff of Wucad will work even when you have no magic points, whereas as we know, if you have low, if you're really low and then you try to use the Crystal Ball of Energy, it's never going to work. So it's kind of like you use both of these in tandem. But the too long didn't listen or too long didn't read, if you have subtitles on maybe, I don't know, is that this is a really good item that we will use. I think for the moment, I'm going to try using it in place of the Staff of Energy. But we'll see how it goes. And on the subject, very fitting, I have this sketch from Parsimony. It's depicting Ziggy trying to figure out how the Staff of Energy actually works. While I am a MuWz Parsimony, I do have an issue with this drawing. That question mark above Ziggy's head looks suspiciously like confusion. And because we've been wearing the Amulet of the Four Winds this whole time, there is no way that Ziggy could be confused. So this simply cannot be true. I don't know, I guess when you do get confused, it says that your character is momentarily confused. So maybe this snapshot was taken at that exact instant. So maybe it could be true, but I'm a bit skeptical of the question mark. There you go. Thank you, Parsimony. Alright, let's do some more zigging. We're walking around with our Staff of Earth out for shadow. And then we'll switch to Wucad when and if we need to channel. Alright, 617. Alright, we've got a This looks like it. I don't know. I'm a bit uncertain here. I'm seeing fire-themed enemies for fire floors, but I'm also seeing undead stuff. I think the first thing that I want to make note of is that I don't want to mess around with the Hellion, so I'm going to go invisible. I don't want to get hellfired by it. Okay, well, now that we're invis, it shouldn't hit us so much. Our problem is going to be, how do we deal with Balrogs? Oh yeah, okay, this seems like a sort of fire-themed floor, I don't know. I want to go in ignition just to get rid of all the, those things. What are those things called? Hellions, that's the one. And then for these fire immune ones, we're going to have to do something else. They're all flying, so Shadow doesn't help us too much. Although, thanks to Normal Person 7 who reminded me, Shadow got reworked not too long ago when it stopped being a monster spell. And the thing that got changed is how the dice rolls on Shadow are determined. So while it is true that generally enemies who are flying take less damage, if they're susceptible to it, they'll actually take more even if they're flying. So things that are susceptible to shatter are things made of bone and metal. So cursed skulls, that's why they're getting so owned by it. Bone dragons, for instance, things like that. And things also that are made of ice or metal. Iron dragons, maybe? Not sure about that one. Anyway, the point is that, yeah, you got to think about shatter. Just because something's flying doesn't necessarily mean that they'll take less damage. This is sort of a hard floor for us. We really need to get Tornado going at some point. Well, I'm going to make a servitor that can... Did I not make it? I did make it. That can help us by shooting out iron shots while we do this. And I don't know. These ignitions are probably unnecessary. Those random dragon skeletons don't really bother us too much. It's more, I'm more worried about the Hellion really. The Brimstone Fiend and the Hellions when they were on screen. Let's look at our Crystal Ball of Energy again. And now that the Brimstone Fiend is in range of our clutches, we'll hit him with that. I could put a Lightning Spire down as well. That could also help us out here. But let's look at our Crystal Ball of Energy again. Yeah, we'll go more Ignition. The Brimstone Fiend is going down to one single Vial Clutch. That's pretty insane. There's another Hellion that I would like to get. We're still invis. It's wearing out. That turn, it came back right then. But yeah, it still couldn't see us. Although note that they can guess where you are. So just because you're invis doesn't guarantee that you won't be hit by its damnation. I like how useful Lightning Spire still is at this point. That's some sort of artifact gold dragon scales, I think we're seeing. Alright, I'm curious about this. +7 gold dragon scales with strength +2, dex +6, slay +2. That's pretty amazing. The gold dragon scales of the suburbs. Rockin' suburbs. Can we ever wear that? Probably not. If we're going to use gold dragon scales, it probably needs to have +10 strength on it. But that is a pretty good gold dragon scales. Oh yeah, where's my note? Who reminded me? I wrote this one down. Zuikin13 gave me an excellent tip for managing our inventory here. Scrolls of Acquirement stack. Acquiring items and then trying to keep all the items do not stack. So if I want to save my inventory slots, I want to just carry around all the acquirement scrolls and then read them all when we get back out of Zig. That's Wizardry and Int +7 on a ring, which is pretty exciting, but also with RC minus. Hang on, we need to do some science in a sec here. At this point, let's drop the random effects wand. And then I just want to see what our tornado looks like when we have all this extra int and wizardry. Can we cast it? 80%. Not really. Okay, fair enough. But in the future, that's quite a significant difference. I'm going to carry that around, especially if we ever find Firestorm. I can imagine that having an extra 7 int and wizardry at all times will help us cast it a lot earlier. And we're ignoring the crystal halberd. We're going to leave that gold dragon scales. That would be, yeah, fantastic if you finally stay on D3 of your standard game. That would set you up for an entire through game, but at this point where we're in Zigland, we need to be a bit more discerning. I mean, if we want a gold dragon scales and we actually can get the strength for it at this point in the game, we're going to want like a +15 gold dragon scales or something super sick nasty. Alright, quick check. We're pumping Evo, training air magic. Yep, seems good. On we go to 18. I think I am lagging out right now. Yep. Let me take my hands off the keyboard for a sec there. Alright. We're back. Kind of. Alright. We're going to do Zig 18 under heavy lag. I see a Moth of Wrath. That tells me it's a spider floor, I think, usually. No, it's an orc floor. Oh, they all went berserk. Fantastic. It's alright, they can all get ignitioned. Trying to get this Moth of Wrath to stand next to some of the enemies so I can burn it. There we go. Let's look at the crystal ball. That guy's got a crossbow. Alright, now this looks like a really good time for Shatter. I don't know, Ignition, Shatter, both of these look amazing. Let's try Ignition for a bit of fireworks. And now that they're not so densely spread, we'll go with Shatter. And this orc floors, at least for the moment, are pretty easy. Compare that to some of the really nasty floors like the Panlord floors, and these guys just get owned by all our spells. Or even the last floor, like we can't kill Brimstone Fiends, but for orcs, both our big spells really destroy them. And in big groups too. No spells. Come on, where's our Firestorm? No spells. That's the Vampire Tooth, that's another item that we need to make space for. Alright, what can we drop now? We can drop one of our RLX rings. Maybe I'll keep the one with plus invis on it. Purely because we might switch around our cloaks at some point in the future, and then it would be good to still have a plus invis item. Yeah. Okay, Vampire's Tooth, it's a dagger, right? I don't remember. It's a quick blade. Okay, it's a quick blade that gives you more healing than a regular vamp weapon does. That is a very bad dagger. Okay, Control F and dot again. Shows us everything on the floor. Oh yeah, there's a fan of gales. That's something I was looking out for as well. Will I even bother? Probably. At least then we can have access to one. Let's drop. Can we read out enchant armor scrolls? I think we basically have no use for those. I'm just gonna drop enchant armor scrolls. If we ever find, say, a large shield that we need to enchant up, or something like that, we can start collecting them again. But in the meantime, nothing for us to use them on at all. Let's keep going. Zig 19. And let's hope for more orc floors. Much comfier. Okay, I'm a bit creeped out. We're sensing the gold here, so it's telling us we're kind of close to the end and we haven't seen a single monster yet. We still haven't. Okay, suddenly elect enemies. Alright, fair enough. So we're going to need RLEC. Check that I'm not flying against the Titans. Yeah, and let's get RLEC. So I guess we can drop the extra int. I'd like to keep the Ring of Phasing against all these lightning bolts that are going to be coming in a second. So, yeah. If we want just RLEC, I think this ring with Invis on it is better than the one that can potentially corrode us. Yep, so I'm going to do that. And then all these lightning bolts are going to fly in. Okay. As our evocations is getting higher, we're almost at 20. I'm going to spam the crystal ball more and more. Okay, that is, what is doing that? Oh, it was the air elemental. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to use a iron shot against this electric golem, because it doesn't really die to any of our other spells. Let's see. It's resistant to fire, so I guess we can kill it with ignition, technically. Oh, that was maybe a bit too greedy of a crystal ball there. We were pretty low. Right, I'm not sure if that was below the best odds bit. Basically, as your evocations gets higher and higher, the point at which you're allowed or you can reliably use the crystal ball gets lower. But still, that seemed too low just there. There's evocations to 20. And that insubstantial wisp sort of just hanging around. I think it was just very, very distracted by the gold. Seeing more manuals. Yeah, see, there you go. The scrolls of requirement stack. Thank you. It's another int +7 item. Oh, on a mace this time. Oh, it's a holy mace. We can't even wield it. Never mind. That's another manual of fighting. It's too late for us. Okay, not too many items on this one. I guess the enemies didn't spawn with them. Oh yeah, we're also training armor. I remember because we got a manual. Where's my evocations manual? My air magic manual. Yeah, I think we just keep training armor until that manual runs out. Yeah, and we never train evocations, even though we have a manual for that one. Zig 20. Please no Panlord floors. Okay, I see a cursed skull. This might be a mummy floor then. So we learned that these guys are going to get destroyed by shatter, because even though they're flying, they're susceptible to it as a monster made of bone. So they won't even avoid it with their flying bit. Alright. Lots of revenants. They all have Dispel Undead, so quite scary. They're not in any way fire resistant. So I think, yeah, against the revenants, our fire spell is the play. Against the curse skulls and the bone dragons, it's shatter. Okay, let's get some magic points back before all these new enemies turn up. What about profane servitors? They're not resistant to fire at all. Okay, well that's fine. I'm not really that afraid of him actually. I should probably just Val clutch him. Let's get our magic back again. Alright, there goes our manual of armor already gone. 20.2. I don't like 21 either as a place to stop. This really hurts me to do. I'll come back to it. But I'm going to turn armor off at 20.2 and just do evocations and air magic for the moment. Without our manual, training armor to 21, which I don't love as an endpoint either because it's an odd number. I don't know. It's not that I dislike odd numbers on my skills, but 21 just seems not right to me. To be training that at -2 aptitude when we really like our Evo and have access to Tornado seems a bit too crazy, even for me. Yeah, so we'll come back to that later. I will not leave it there forever. Magic to 15. These crystal balls still work. See, who even needs the Staff of Wucad Mu when you can just use crystal balls successfully every single time? See? Works every time. You just ignore. Okay, it's back. I was gonna say I can just ignore whatever that thing is called, the vampire mage, because it's just forever going to be distracted by that gold. Okay, we use shadows to kill a lone vampire mage. Seems a bit of overkill. Oh yeah, we should switch our rings back. That's right, we want the ring of phasing back again instead of Aralek. I'm really bad at remembering that actually. New boots, is this running? Stealth? Is stealth better than flying? I mean, not really. If we're trying to rest on the start of a Zig floor and not be noticed by enemies, maybe we want more stealth. But our stealth is so bad anyway, it just doesn't matter. No spells. Where's our Firestorm? Why does our game not have Firestorm? Dex plus 10 ring. I wish that was int plus 10 to go along with Aralek. 4 potions of experience. Alright, starting our collection. Yeah, we picked up a crude longsword. Not very exciting. Okay, we do technically have a slot for that enchant armor scroll. I don't know how. Oh, because our manual ran out. Okay, yeah, our armor manual stopped being a thing. That makes sense. So I could carry enchant armor scrolls again, but we're also, I don't know, I'm pretty sure we're going to find more unrand arts, so let's not. Sig 21. Looks like another elect floor. Alright, let's switch over to the Aralek ring again. Again, instead of the int ring. The ring of MuWz. This is not an elect floor. What is this floor? A lot of random things. That's a Merfolk Aquamancer. That's an Ancient Lich. We've got Tengu Reavers. Random. Or is it just sort of... I think it's just a like a Conjurer floor, if that makes sense. All these enemies have conjurations. Like an Annihilator themed floor, if that makes sense. Purple Draconian Annihilator, Deep Elf Annihilator. Reavers are kind of like Annihilators, if you really think about it. So these Merfolk Annihilators. It makes sense, I swear. Red Draconians are not flying. Tengu Reavers are. I'm really happy that we have deflect missiles right now. Yeah, I just did a bit of walking to get more enemies on screen so that we could... Oh, that was a bad crystal ball of energy. I gotta stop doing that when our magic points are that low. Yeah, but I walked in screen, to get more on. That hurt. That Deep Elf Sorcerer nailing us with a damnation there. Why is this... Is that Bloodlust? Somehow the Salamander Mystic became Berserk. Oh, it was because of the... Not there anymore, but there's a Demon Spawn, I think, that can do that. What did I just do? Did I fail Shatter there? Yes. Okay, I was going to say, I didn't see anyone get hurt. Alright, and now that our magic points are so low, this might be the time for the Wucad Mu to make its debut. Okay, magical energy flows into our mind, and then nothing bad happened. And again. Okay, it seems pretty good. You feel momentarily confused. Alright, yeah, so that seems like a pretty good item. 3 uses of that, and we're almost back at full magic points. And all we did was get momentarily confused. Seems decent. As we start working our way up towards 40,000 gold. Wiz Aralek RN. No. At some point we've got to start saying no to the Aralek rings. Let's see, do we have anything that we want to forget right now? I don't think so. No, I think we want all these spells. I can't remember the last time I used summon butterflies, but technically it's still good to have. One final check before we move on. Okay, we're good. Zig 22. Alright, I haven't noticed a huge difference between the difficulty of Zig 1 and Zig 2. In fact, in a lot of ways this Zig has been easier because we haven't had any Panlord flaws. But I mean, in terms of the density of enemies and difficulty, it seems pretty similar. Although it probably is a gradual and slow building up of enemies rather than it just going insane from one to the next. It's probably, once you're 10 to 20 zigs in, you can see the obvious change. But until that point, it's probably more or less the same. Alright, we've got another fire floor. Let's put our int ring back on instead of Aralek. Again, I've been making it a point to check that before I leave a floor, that we picked up all the items. I should also make a point to check that we have all the rings and things that we need on. Alright, so the way that I'm going to approach this is every time I see a Hellion, I'm going to ignition it. For these other enemies, we need to use Vile Clutch. It's about all we have. It's kind of scary that the Balrogs all have Smite, because that can't miss and ignores your AC. So with this many Balrogs on screen, they could all smite us at once if we're unlucky. And we'll take a lot of irresistible damage. Okay, there is another Hellion, but it's not going to one-hit us while we're adjacent to all these other monsters. It also wasn't next to anything else, so to ignition it would have been difficult. We're taking a lot of damage here. I think it is mostly just from smites, if I had to guess. There are too many fireball engulfing messages to scroll through to find out what's actually hurting us. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's going to be smites. That's okay. At any point we can push and petition for heal wounds. And let's just check. We do have max RF on right now. Good. Okay. Alright, let's test. That's an iron golem. It's made of metal. Well, it's not flying anyway, but do they get absolutely wrecked by shatter? Looks like it. Didn't actually say, but so I guess I don't know. So I don't know what to call this theme of this floor, because it seems to be you get some damnation themed enemies, some fire themed enemies, and then you get a bunch of zombies and skeletons. It's not really an undead floor. It's not really a damnation floor, and it's not really a fire themed floor, so I don't know. We're trying to pick up scrolls of silence. I don't want those anymore. I need to go into my auto pickup with backslash and turn those off. We're also going to ignore the enchant armor. A manual of bows, no thank you. Smelly plate armor, nah. 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 No spells again? This seems, I don't know, I feel like this can't be correct. That our game just does not have Firestorm in it. It really doesn't. Yep, and no Crystal Spear. Yep, no Crystal Spear. Really amazing considering how much we've done to be most of the way through a second Zig now after doing all of Extended and to have not found either of those two spells. Or, no, we do have Glaciate, I think. Yeah, no, we don't have Glaciate either, right, okay. Because we've never found the Book of Annihilation, so that makes sense. But still, that's crazy. No Book of Annihilations in our game. Alright, nothing else on this floor. Do we have the correct rings? Yes. No. I'm wearing the RC minus ring. It's kind of similar to the Ring of Muli in terms of the +7 int and a little bit of extra dex. This also gives us wizardry. And Tornado is at 58% when we have this, but still, I think we should use Muli. Gives us a little bit of extra AC as well. As well as not tanking our cold resistance. Zig 23. We're getting to the end stages again. I wonder, should I just blow all these requirement scrolls on books to try to find the Book of Annihilations? I feel like maybe. Alright, war gargoyles are another good example. Or gargoyles. Because they're going to be susceptible to shatter even though they're flying. This looks like maybe a Vaults themed floor. Seems like a really interesting floor. Well, I really need to kill the Hellion before anything else. And then let's use some shatters. And again. Okay. This is quite a nasty floor with Iron Giants, lots of Iron Giants and lots of Hell Sentinels. This might be a time to Potion Petition and buff. I'm going to say yes because I'd like to find an Invis as well against these Hellions that are turning up. Let's try Potion Petition. Let's see what we get. No bus, although there's Heal Wounds and Magic, which I guess can help us. Let me do an Ignition for those guys, and then more Shatters. Okay, I guess this is working. I'm going to evoke an Invis though, just for any further Hellions that turn up, so we hopefully don't get shot. And at 18 magic points out of 54, I feel like we should be using Wucad Mu here. Okay, good. Yeah, see there's a Hellion. We're still Invis though. Actually, this is okay. If we leave a Juggernaut zombie next to us, the Hellion's not going to want to Hellfire us. Or damn us. Unfortunately, due to our AoE, the zombie's gonna go down anyway. Oh, I did Crystal Ball again. I can't help myself. I really just need 27 evocations, so it just always works. That's not how it works, by the way. It will fail even at 27 evocations. What am I doing? I've forgotten how to use my spells. Shatter pretty good with infinite magic points, it turns out. This is pretty insane. With all these evocations now, our Crystal Ball is so good. I'm just sitting there going shatter, shatter, get magic points back, shatter, shatter, and so on. No spells. We're trying to pick up Rune Boots. That makes sense. Let's test those. Why? We have a Buckler of Protection for some reason. Plus 0 flying. They look really good. Those do, because they were blue. I don't know if you caught it. So it matches all our blue theme going on. But we want the plus 2 boots. Or do we? No, because I'm not carrying around any enchant armor scrolls. So never mind. 12 sacks of spiders right now. We're running out of identify scrolls, so I think I should stop using it just on these random weapons to test them. We can wheel test them. That is a complaint I've seen from people doing Mega-Zigs, is that you basically never have enough identify scrolls. Zig 24. Correct rings are on. Deflector missiles is up. 24 it is. How's that air magic? It's at almost 17 right now. Tornado's at 83% without wizardry. It's getting there. I saw a shrike. Again, see one shrike. Some random zombies. This is going to be a cold themed floor, I guess. Well, if there are lots of blizzard demons, they can shoot us with lightning bolts, so I maybe want to switch to RLX. But at this point, we're still okay. Well, if it's a cold themed floor, everything's gonna die pretty easily to ignition. Yeah. Okay, this is a pretty cruisy floor for us. Pretty absurd. Ah, there we go. We finally failed the crystal ball. I used it at something like 10 magic points or even less. There you go. Had to fail at some point. Cool. Pretty simple, straightforward floor where everything just dies to ignition. Hey, we added the spell Dragon's Call to our library. There's another random spell that we were missing. Okay, at this point, I think we should just keep our identify scrolls. I'm just gonna have to try these rings by putting them on. Here's Undead Hunter, which, well, we got a shield, but I think we found out at some point that we can use even though we're a mummy. That is everything in the game. Wait, there we go. Just wanted to see what was on this floor. Come on now. I don't know how I did that though. How did I search every item in the game? That's what seemed... Oh! What was I searching for? Comma. That looks like it's doing artifacts? I'm not sure how it's choosing to show this. But anyway, apparently if you do comma, it will show you a list of artifacts. Maybe because they're sort of description type thing there have commas in them. I don't know. It's just a guess. But there was nothing else here. We've got the correct rings on. We've got deflecting missiles up. Us training is fine. Evocation's starting to head towards 27 now. So we'll continue on to Zig 25. We're maybe going to finish our second Zig in 2 episodes. Looks like it. Let's not get cocky. A flying skull. That one doesn't scare me. It's a mummy floor. Alright, we can deal with mummy floors. With shatter. Oh yeah, it doesn't do anything to Benus. I need to use Fire Clutch on Benus. They're immune to fire, and then they're flying and not susceptible to shatter. Okay, we got slowed. Alright, Benus down. Okay. We just got to take this not slow, but we want to be a little bit careful here. Our dex is down to 11, so when we're killing huge amounts of mummies like this, if all the death curses hit our dex, we could be in trouble. Okay, never mind. As we're killing all these mummies, we're getting our stats back. It's fine. There you go, we're back up. Evocations went to 24. And magic to 18. Crystal ball use, even though we only had 12 magic points. Feels good, man. Yeah, our power level has definitely increased a lot now that Crystal Ball of Energy basically gets all our magic points back in about 2 uses from very low amounts. Pretty nutty. We just fought this mummy floor while slowed for most of it, and we barely took any damage. That's a good sign of things to come, I'd say. Now if only we could also have Firestorm. In these books, no spells. These rings. You need to make space. Why do we need to make space? Don't know. We must have picked something else up at some point. You know what? I think we've been carrying around this vampiric demon trident, but I can't ever see us just deciding we need to heal by killing living stuff. We're killing everything with AoE, really. I can't remember the last time that I've really even had to use my demon trident of Elec. Yeah, no, we've got artifact gloves. I don't know, we still never just found a plain gloves of strength, which is pretty amazing. But no, still haven't. Am I even going to bother with a regular shield? Maybe. It's an artifact. Yeah, I shouldn't have bothered. Yeah. Doesn't matter how many books we find, we're never going to find the Book of Annihilations. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it can't be true. Let's put our stuff back on. Ring of Phasing. Got all our gear on again. On to Zig 26. We're down to 9 strength. It's probably okay. We can still cast everything. Tornado's down to 65% fail rate. What if we put Wizardry on? It goes down to 32. What if we get rid of the Ring of Phasing so we have lots of int? 22%. That's almost castable. Okay, interesting to note. Alright, I'm going to use the Ring of Phasing over Wizardry, but it tells us if we really need to, we could potentially Potion Petition for Brilliance, and then it would probably be castable Tornado. Zig 26. I'm scared. We haven't seen a Panlord floor yet. And this is all unexplored territory for me. It's another mummy floor. Alright, we can deal with this one. We learnt. Trying to get more things on our screen before we start shattering, but we get slowed again. Evocation's 25. The really good thing about these mummy floors is they give you so much experience. Greater mummies are worth so much experience. Actually, Benus get kind of wrecked by shatter there. Are they made of something that's susceptible to it? Not that I can see, but it just lost half its HP. Yeah, I just killed that Bennu in 2 goes with shatter, even though it's flying. It's interesting. And medic to 19. Let's go one more time. I really wanted to get these Bennus before they got on top of us. They're still not, because they're getting distracted by gold. Let's Var Clutch it. Okay, and dare I use a Crystal Ball of Energy at 16 magic points? Yes, because I like to live dangerously. Look at that, works every time. My power is growing! It failed. Wait, we're carrying some random scimitar, are we? No, that's our blink scimitar. We want that one. $40,000 gold. At this point, I could almost go to a US college for a year. Sorry if that was too real for some of you. No spells. Looks like we're doing the last 4 then. Zig 27 of the second Zig. Let's put our Ring of Phasing back on. As long as this isn't Panlords, I'll be happy. That's not true. We've never had one of the floors that's full of Orbs of Fire either. I'm not sure how we kill that. Maybe Tornado. Yeah. It's dropping pretty quickly. It's at 50% now. Because of those mummy floors, you get so much experience. It's crazy. And our evocations is almost fully trained as well. Alright, so our correct rings are on. Our correct armor is all on. Got deflector missiles up. Let's go. But be careful not to accidentally leave. Zig 27. Let's do it. If we can do this, this will be the first time that I've ever done a Mega Zig. It's a spider floor. Okay, so we know we want to go invis before we start seeing all the ghost moss. Alright, good. And then I think we just ignition everything. I'll throw in a couple of shadows to get rid of the demonic crawlers. And the corrosion starts. Oh, okay, well we finally failed our crystal ball. There you go. Had to happen eventually. Alright, there goes all our magic points. That's fine. That's why we were keeping the Staff of Wucad. Alright. Yeah, that works. See, 3 turns later and we're back to full magic points. Can't lose. Man, our AoE is nasty. And this is without Firestorm or Tornado as well. I think we're done here. I think that's the second Zig complete. So it's a much faster season, season 2. In only 2 episodes rather than the 27. Let's see what our loot is first before I start claiming this is over. Okay, that's an interesting ring. Why is it asking? Oh, it's gonna drain us. Yeah, okay, so we get red drained. Our tornado goes back up to not being castable. Nice. Well, that's the danger of random testing all these weapons. And see, this one has contamination. $20 boxes of beast. Hey, another manual translocations. We have 2 of those. Alright, so that's gonna really help us get to control blink. And no spells. What did I expect? Let's do a search. Oh, right, okay, good. Alright, we need to pick up the other figurine of a Ziggurat. Oh, yeah, okay, I absolutely cannot leave without doing that. Alright, let's make space for that thing. That one's really important. Okay, we picked up an amulet of regeneration for some reason. I guess that was the last amulet we'd never seen, so it was still on auto pickup, and then we determined what it was. Alright, where's the fig? There. I note that it's also a +1 figurine, so maybe this was a regular Zig. Maybe the 2... Hang on, we can test this, but maybe the 2 are independent of each other. So you have your Zig that you start from Tomb, and you have this Zig that you start from Depths. I don't know if they're independent. I didn't think they were, but our Zigraider Figurat is also +1 here, whereas I would have expected it to be +2, because this is now the second Zig that we finished. So that's interesting. Let me check again, there's nothing else here. Doesn't look like it. Alright. So I think we're ready to leave. Oh yeah, we can fly to get out of this silly thing. But I want to have a look. So let's go find our other Zig Fig. It's in Tomb. I doubt it would change, but I want to see if I now have 2 figs that are both +1. Somewhere up the top up here. Okay, it went up to +2, so it did change. So that's now +2, and this is a +1. Oh, it's also a +2. It changed as well. Alright, okay, so I guess that does mean that that was a Mega-Zig. It looks like these things will update. Alright, fair enough. Maybe it happened when you picked it up. Okay. Well, that's going to be it for the Adventures of Ziggy Goldust right now. I know I'm going to kill some of you if I don't read these acquirement scrolls now. So I'm going to do that as well, I guess. But after this is going to be a bit of a Ziggy break. And from now on, I'll do it in between other episodes when I have downtime. So I'd really like the Book of Annihilations. So I'm just going to do book to try to get it, because it's a manual of air magic. Okay, I can't complain about that too much. It will help us get Tornado up. But I really just want a Book of Annihilations. Shouldn't be that rare. Hey, we did it. There you go. Well, that's a nice way to finish season 2. Got to commend the writers for this season on that one to bring us a happy ending. So there you go. That's it for now. We'll be going next with a regular Ultraviolent 4 streak game, where I think we're at about 8. It's a long command. We're at 7 consecutive wins. Yep. So we'll be attempting an 8th streak. And then in between those games, we'll be doing more of Ziggy. So see you all for the next one, I hope. Bye.